Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I am very excited to announce that I will be part of the JustNick digital cut files design team for the next year. And today I'm sharing my very first process video and my first project for this design team. So I just want to give a shout out to Nicole Noasad over at JustNick, and I'm really excited about being part of this team. Now I used two cut files for my layout today, the Aztec Print background and also the Cactus Jack cut file. And these are two really sweet cut files that to me really seem to team up and go together. And so I used them for my layout today. I'm also going to use this really pretty Maggie Holmes patterned paper from the Chasing Dreams collection. I just really love the color of it, and I love that it really has a pretty subtle pattern on it that is going to look very nice behind this cut file that I'm going to use over top of it. Now I have cut this cut file from some Carta Bella white shimmer paper, and I just really love this paper, and it just zipped through my silhouette like nobody's business. It just cut like butter through this paper, and I really love it, and I love how it looks when this layout is all finished up. Now I'm going to take my fine line bottle, which I have quick dry adhesive in. I really love applying my liquid adhesive using this fine line bottle on a cut file because it does not get a ton of adhesive on there, which is what you want when you are gluing a cut file down. You don't want that glue oozing out from all over underneath there. So it just applies just a really small amount, and that's all that you need just to adhere this down to another piece of paper, which is what I'm doing here. Now I detached those center or those triangles from the background or from the center of the cut file because I wanted to lift up the top and bottom corner of those little triangles, and I'll show you that as I'm working away here, just because I thought that it would add some really cool dimension to the layout. Now you'll just see me here picking up that top and bottom corner on that triangle, and I'm going to just curl those edges up, and I really like how that looks. I think it's just really neat, and when the layout is all finished you'll be able to see the dimension that adds. Now I didn't shoot that whole business of me sticking that all down just because it's the same thing over and over again. So now you can see how this is how this looks when it's completed. I'm going to take a 4x6 photo, which I printed in landscape, and I'm going to use that for this layout. I just like how I like the look of the photograph over onto the sort of more onto the right side of the layout and a little bit closer to the bottom than the top. And I'm going to then embellish the photograph from there. Now I really love how the photograph is in black and white, and I think that it just looks really nice with the softness of the colors that I used here, and of course the white cut file. So I just was so excited when I found this Jen Hadfield homemade collection set of die cuts or bunch of die cuts in my stash. You know, sometimes you just find treasures in your stash. I kind of forgot that I even had this collection, and it's so pretty, and it just worked perfectly with this layout with the cactus theme. And you know, cactuses don't really necessarily have anything to do with the photograph that I'm using here, but it's cactus or kind of cacti are definitely in style right now, or they're a popular icon, and I just love how they look on this layout. And I'll talk a little bit about the picture as I go along here. Now you can see that one cactus cut file I didn't use on the layout that I've got on my table over to the right, and inside of that cut file are these little heart cutouts, and I decided to use those, detach those, and use them as kind of like little confetti around my layout. You can see that I cut those cacti out of some really pretty gold glitter paper, and that just looks so nice with the white and with the tones of blue and then that really soft pale green. So I like how that looks. Now I decided that I wanted to pop my photo up on some craft foam just to bring the photo up off the layout a little bit, once again to give the layout a little more dimension. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start to adhere down the other little bits and pieces around the layout. So I'm going to take my cut files here, this little cactus pot, which is part of the Cactus Jack cut file. I'm only going to adhere down on the top, so I don't want to put any adhesive on my photograph. And I'm going to then just take that fine line bottle, like I mentioned before, and just get just an ever so tiny little bit of adhesive on that cut file so that it's just really super easy to stick down. And like I said, you don't need much for it to stick to the base of the layout. Now I am going to stick down some of these die cuts with some foam dots just to bring them up off the layout a little bit in the areas where I'm doing that layering so that the bottom layer is flush or flat to the layout. And then as I layer, I want to make sure that I've got some dimension going to that top piece. Just gonna stick this little leaf in behind there, and I just love, like I said, I love these colors. They're so pretty and soft, and it all just works together nicely. I just want to fold up that top sort of edge of that leaf and curve it up a little bit, just to once again continue on with adding some dimension. Now this photograph of Jordan is one that was taken a long time ago. If you guys have followed me, you know that Jordan is now 25 years old. He's almost 26. And I think that in this photograph, he probably was maybe about 7. I'm going to guess 7. I could probably go back and look that up and figure out exactly how old he is. But I really love this photograph, and I haven't scrapped this one before. I love how he's looking at that bear. The bear is sitting on a suitcase and he's looking up at the bear. I just think it's priceless. I really, really like that. And the quote that you'll see on the layout here in a bit is from Winnie the Pooh. And it's just really cute. I like it. And I like that it's a Winnie the Pooh quote when there's a bear in the photograph with him. I just thought it was sweet. So I'm not going to do any journaling other than that quote on the layout that's visible. I am going to do some writing on the back of this layout, and I often will do that for things that I'm sharing if it's kind of more private and personal journaling. And my kids know to look on the back of my layouts because they know that that's something that I like to do. So they definitely will check that out for sure. I'm not afraid that they'll miss it. So now I'm just going to take some of this Plus Vellum adhesive tape runner, and I'm going to add it to the back of that really cute little vellum die cut, and that says Shine Bright on it. And you know, cactus or cacti, and I don't know if you've seen in home decor stores now, there's the glass with the gold piping on it to keep the glass shapes together. And that's a really, really popular kind of decorating theme right now, as are cacti. And that was the main reason for me choosing this cut file and some of these other little bits and pieces for this layout, because it's really popular right now. Not that it necessarily went with the photograph. I just love it. And I think that that's something that you can think about when you are, you know, when you're scrapbooking things and you're thinking, how does this fit my theme? It doesn't necessarily have to fit the theme of the photograph. It just needs to be visually pleasing. And I really like how this looks. I think that it is extremely visually pleasing, especially with those little cactus cut from that gold glitter paper. I think that looks really, really pretty. Now, I just took my journaling idea and I printed it on just using my computer. I just printed it out, typed it out on some white cardstock. Now I'm just taking my Fiskars cutter and I'm just going to cut up these strips. I didn't like how they were still just a little bit too wide, so I'm just going to trim them up with my scissors a tiny little bit, and then I'm just going to adhere those down. Now the title is not going to get any more complicated than that acetate phrase on there that says "Love You" in the gold. And that's just an acetate piece from that Jen Hadfield homemade collection as well, which is where I got the die cuts from for this layout. And now you can see that I'm still just fussing with that quote. And the little quote says, "If ever there comes a day we can't be together, keep me in your heart. I'll stay there forever." Oh, that's so cute, right? I love it. I think it's adorable. I think it fits the picture. I think it fits what I'm going to be journaling about on the back of the layout. And I think Jordan will really appreciate it. I think it's cute. So I'm going to just finish getting this cut up, and then I'm going to stick that down using my fine line bottle once again. And just see me fussing around with that. I didn't want to cut all of this, that quote in one line or even in two lines the same length. I wanted to make it look a little more interesting than that. So the first line I did in, you know, a little bit longer strip, and now I'm just going to offset these next two lines just so that they kind of bounce your eye down from the top to the bottom, kind of like little steps. And you'll just see me adding that on there and get that stuck down. There we go. I like how that looks. So now I am going to, let's see, I'm going to take those little heart confetti pieces, those little gold glitter hearts that were part of that cactus cut file, and I'm going to just sort of decide where I want those to go. I'm going to actually stick those down with some glue dots and just kind of pop them around in just sort of some random spots here and there. Staying pretty close to the die cuts and the photograph and so on, not veering too far off into that area where there's just the cut file. Just going to kind of keep those close, like I said, tight in with the other elements that have already been added on top of that Aztec Print cut file. I'll just stick that down, and soon I will be finished. Now I was looking at that and I was thinking, what else could I add to this to jazz it up a little bit? So I end up going into my stash. I found the Oasis from Crepe Paper, the sticker sheet, and I'm going to add a single one, just one sticker phrase, or phrase sticker, I should say, from that sticker sheet. So I'm just kind of going around with my tweezers here, and I'm lifting up that top and bottom corner from all of those triangles that are exposed or don't have something stuck on top of them. And I just think that looks really cool. I just think it adds a whole lot of dimension to the layout, lifting those up a little bit. And you'll still be able to see that when this is in the photo album. Now this is that little sticker that I mentioned that I got off of this Oasis sticker sheet. The little sticker says me and you, and I just thought that was cute. That's going to match up with the journaling that I'm going to add to the back as well. Oh, this is so metaphorical. Jordan will hopefully see the metaphor in the layout with what I'm talking about in the journaling on the back of the layout as well. So yes, this lad is leaving me. He's off. He's going to be moving very soon, in less than a week, and so that's kind of the sentiment that I'll be focusing on when I'm doing the journaling here. Yeah, so just checking that out, seeing if I can find any other little stickers that I like, but I didn't. I thought I might try a couple of other things, but they don't end up making the cut. The only other thing I end up adding to the layout is a little bit of gold thread, and I'm going to add that to the little cactus cluster that's on the left of the layout. Now I can't remember if I did that on camera or off camera. I guess we'll soon see here. And just like I said, I'm just being really persevering and trying to add some other things to the layout. But you know what? I just really like the way that it looks. It's really simple and clean, and it just has enough on it, in my opinion. And these cut files, as I've said many other times before, really do the work for you. And make sure that you click in the link below to Nicole's cut file shop and to the blog, and check out all the stuff that's happening over there. Look at all of the cut files that she has in her store. There's tons, and they're amazing. It's definitely my favorite cut files and favorite cut file shop that I have found. So make sure you check that out. And I am still diligently trying to find other things to add, but I will reiterate, I like how it looks like this. It's just clean and simple, and I love it. So I'm going to leave it at that, and just check out the still shots at the end here for how I added that gold thread on the left cluster there. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you next time. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.